Oh, there we go. It was muted. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I just had to unclick that. I didn't see that there. Okay, I will have a chance now to start over. Well, you hear me now, correct? Like somebody give me a thumbs up. Like you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Um, good. I thought it was going mad. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So okay, I'm on. Okay, got it. Got it. Got it. Okay, I will start over from where I started. I was saying, everybody, welcome to the show, the 5th of February, 2025. Welcome to the Mikey Show, and where we talk about hi-fi and any other thing you really want to talk about. I take call-ins where you guys can call on your phone, and I will patch you into the show. This is really a radio show, and you come on in with any comments. We'll talk about whatever we want to talk about, except religion and politics. And I was getting into the fact that this week I'm doing jury duty, and at the Superior Court, or what is it? The Superior Court in my county, and um, and so anytime someone tells you, or you tell them you're doing jury duty, the first thing they do is, "Oh, dude, that sucks. Oh, bummer." So I'm sitting thinking, "Oh God, this is gonna suck." Like. So the night before I went in, I Googled how to dress to not get picked for jury duty, right? I'm trying to figure out, how do I dress like somebody they don't want, And so I'm like, whatever. I'm just going in. I'm just going to be myself. Half the people that are my viewers and friends and tribe members are like, dude, just go in and be yourself, man. They won't pick you because whatever. I have an opinion, I guess. But in a weird way, I think they went for that. They want somebody that they feel can hand down an execution if it's needed, right? They need somebody that's firm-minded, and that not somebody that. One of the questions they asked, have you ever hired or fired anybody? And I totally have. And it seems like they wanted that was something. Then because then they asked, was it easy to do or was it hard to do? Like, well, no, it was easy. Well, why? Well, because there was basically, there's evidence. I mean, that's what they want you to say. Well, there was evidence, like, he was late, he didn't show up, he was stealing, whatever. And so I gave him the noose, or whatever. So they want, nonetheless. So I went in there thinking, I don't want to do this. This is how do I get out of it? And then I went in, and then they sat us down, and before they choose who's going to come in, right? There's 14 of you that get picked, right? And they've got like whatever 30. They had like 50 people in there, or 30, at least 3 times what they needed. I think that's what it was, 3 times what they needed, and then they honed it down to 1/3, which was the people that were lucky enough to serve their civil duty. Anyways, we went into the room, into the courtroom, and they sat us down, and the defendant was there, and the state or the county, I guess in this case, the DA, right, was there, and they read off all the charges, and man, they were reading off those charges, and I was like, I can't wait to hear what a defense is for this shit. Like, how's anybody going to defend this? You know what I mean? Like, I got to hear it, So I'm into it. I'm actually totally into it. I like it. I look forward to going there. I look forward to hearing the arguments. I look forward to observing the attorneys place their little questions that are at the end of the big question. That is really the important question, is the little one that they throw out like it means nothing, because then the people answer like it means nothing and they give a truthful statement, when the big serious question is not the one they're after. So it's very crafty how the attorneys work. I can totally see them setting things up, very, very interesting. And I'm totally enjoying it. I'm into it. It's great. I've got the whole group. I'm kidding with the whole group and joking around, being my normal wise ass self. So it's fun for me. It's really fun for me to be put into a complete group of strangers where you need to be a team. You need to unify as a team. And they're complete strangers. It's just the best. I freaking love that. It's like my favorite part about it. It's like all of a sudden they're all family to me. I tribed their ass, It's like, it's It's awesome. It's fun. And we're doing the same thing with the Hi-Fi Tribe. It's what I love about what we do is you all and the tribe, doing things with you guys, having discussions with you all, talking to you not only about hi-fi, that's very little. A lot of times I want to talk to you all about things that you guys know about that I don't. Watches was one, Um, I learned about watches from the tribe, from my guys, from my clients. I learn about a lot of stuff from my clients because I'm curious. I got full rancher clients. I've got guys that do all sorts of different things, man. I could learn so much cool different shit. And it's super, super fun. So let me go ahead and address in some of your comments. We got Tommy in from Portland tribe. Hey y'all, happy hump day. Yeah, man. We've got Wong calling in. He didn't hear anything yet. And these are going to be people. Wes, no sound from Connecticut. Oscar told me it was muted, and I was like, yep, you're right. Larry from Texas talking to us. Wait a second, Larry. Yeah, you're in Houston, right, Larry? Or is it somewhere else? There's another Larry in Texas. Good. I thought I was going mad. Simon says, yep, he tells us, okay, I'm okay. Wong gave us a thumbs up. Rob Clendenning from Canada, the resistant 51st state. So we found a way to take care of, if there is tariffs between U.S. and Canada, I'm going to ship Fisher & Fisher direct from Germany to Canada. And you guys will be receiving things from Germany, so there won't be the U.S. tariff. We will do it that way. 5 by 5. What is 5 by 5? I have no idea. Ahoy, Mikey. Billy from Avondale. Here's Billy, man. The cosmic leprechaun, man. In the house. See you tomorrow night. You know it, brother. Your ass better be hungry because I'm going to bring you my 2 new sandwich offerings. So you guys know Billy is a local audiophile. I met him up. Now, this is the guy, you've heard me tell the story about the local guys that have 1 week a month. They have record club where one dude picks an album, vinyl, and then gives a presentation. It's a short presentation, right? Basically, it's just an introduction to why he picked that album and what it's about or what it means to him or whatever. Why that album, right? And then everybody sits down and they're whatever, beers and bourbon and pizzas and whatever the hell. In this case, it's going to be sandwiches now, and I'll go into why. But everybody hangs out, man, and they listen intently to the album. And it's just like a fellowship, man. It's the coolest thing, Billy. When I saw that, I was just blown away. Both Big John and I brought Big John with, and we're just like, these dudes are so cool. And these guys are not like goofy, cuckoo audiophiles the way maybe you kind of are, Billy. But I'd say what would you say? Fledgling, Magnapan LRS Plus. Since I've known Billy, he's upped his ante, but it relatively started, relatively conservative in terms of the spend, right? But much more all about the music. That's what I love, Billy, about you and your gang, man, and especially you. When I met you, Billy is a freaking music dude. That's when I knew I met a brother. You go to his house, he's got picture books laid out of like all killer musicians, whatever. And on the wall, he's got art of bands and tickets of shows he's seen and just all sorts of cool memorabilia and shit like that. His house is a freaking is a testament to design. You should see this guy. There isn't a freaking screw, Billy, in your house that hasn't been thought out and considered. That's how Billy's decor is. And he's got this very interesting house. What do you call that, brother? Is that like Danish farmhouse or like Dutch? Like it's like a country home. It's in the middle of Atlanta. It's definitely a certain architecture style, and Billy can tell us. And everything, you go in there and he commissions art pieces. He commissions his furniture. He commissions like the railing going up the stairs, every single little thing. And he can tell you the story about it, who made it, when he commissioned it, how he had the tines, twisted with a diamond in the middle or whatever he did. It's all very, Oh, look at that. We got an incoming. I'm going to interrupt what I was saying. Let's bring Big John.
Hey.
Don't say anything nasty because you're on live. You're live on the stream with everybody.
You wearing pants?
Yeah, I am. Let me find.
That's great. That's great.
I've got to turn you up. Go ahead.
No, I was just calling in to check in my buddy. That's all.
Oh yeah, cool. Well, let me. You want to say hi to the gang?
I can.
Do it. Everybody's listening right now.
Hello, everybody.
Let's see if
I'm working for corporate America, so I just came out of a all product meeting for the company I work for. It's very exciting.
Yeah. How exciting was it?
Well, we spent a 3-day workshop going through how we build our products for 2025. Vision board planning.
Oh yeah. How was that?
Yeah, it's excitement. Always excitement.
Yeah.
It's products and services. I work for a company that's valued at, I think, around $13 billion. That went IPO in 2016, and I was employee 68. So
that's when you got your stock. That's when you got your stock, boy.
Stock, yeah. but I'm still working. So there's something obviously isn't working perfect, right?
Well, what's the trick? I heard something about where you never cash out your stock. You just borrow against it. And then when you pay it off, somehow you avoid having to pay tax on it that way.
I probably legally could if I wrote it all the way out to I don't know, retirement age. But the stock that I have in this company, it's traded on the Nordics, the OMX.
Yep.
So it's a little tricky. I've got to go through a conversion rate that I've got to calculate from Swedish kroner to US dollars. And then of course, the US government, our federal taxation system hits me for 30-some%. So,
Jesus.
Yep. So it is a really painful experience that you have to go through when you cash in these shares, unless you're able to hide it in some other creative spot.
How does this work? I think one of the financial guys listening right now could probably tell us. You take a loan against it, and then the interest is like a write-off or something, and there's just a way to use the money, but you're not really.
See, I'm not smart enough. That's why I'm still working.
That's classic. All right, brother. Well,
I will let you get back to it, but
you want to tell him about the subwoofer that you got? That's Jonathan's newest thing. He bought locally. He bought a used Rel, or
a Rel Gibraltar. Yeah, and this is sick. It's a G1, but it's the first generation Rel. And anybody that knows Rel, they're pretty special. It's not a servo sub, but it's a carbon fiber driver with I think a 2-inch piston dynamic. Wow. So I mean, it moves a lot of air. This is a beast.
High excursion.
And the cabinets are handmade, heavy duty, Class AB amplification, 600 watts. And I put it in the rig, and you've seen my rig, Mike. You get the two Maggie 3.3s, and then I've got two SVS sealed 3000 series. So that's a 13-inch woofer on, it's set up right next to the Maggie. This 112 has got way more oomph than the 213 SVSs.
Wow.
I mean, it's all about, its quality, and it's a lot faster. So it's got these high level inputs, which apparently with a very fast crossover network, allow the sub to keep up with these planar magnetics.
And you got it for what you got it for $1,700 or something?
$1,300.
$1,300. What's retail?
I think when they were new, like $6,000 or something.
Not
right
bad,
around there.
Man, not bad. It's like
not
fourth.
Bad, and it was in an immaculate shape.
Yep.
Anyway, it's in the rig, and now my wife's pissed because I can trip breakers and shake the pictures off the walls with all that.
Way to go, dude.
Way to go, man. Exactly. See, we think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we do. That's funny.
It is.
Cool. All right, my brother. Well,
Well,
look,
take care.
man. Yeah. Okay, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Okay, man. Cheers.
Have a great show.
You bet.
Bye-bye.
Oh, wait. Before you go.
Yeah.
Because Billy's on watching. I was telling, I called him the cosmic leprechaun. And I was telling the folks about his house and how there isn't a freaking screw in that house on say a door hinge that isn't absolutely intentional and probably handmade.
All right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Such an interesting house to hang
there's
out in.
stories on around every corner.
Everything.
And Billy is such a neat human. Like going over to his house, it's an experience. Having
Always.
a meal. I mean, he made he made a 3-course sandwich experience, and it was each one was perfect.
Oh yeah.
Really,
so
really
I was getting to that part of the story to tell the tribe here that Billy is a foodie too, like we are, right? But he's going the extra mile, and he just opened a pop-up for Billy's sandwiches, and he's from Philly, and he's bringing the Philly roast pork specialty down here. He can tell you who it's in memory. There's a famous Philly roast pork sandwich place up there that he is recreating it down here. That was his inspiration. And then he's got, a couple other, a roast beef, a peanut butter with, check this out, with house-made marshmallow fluff, which normally marshmallow fluff is like nasty. Like I wouldn't go near it. It's like, nuclear freaking paste. Right. And, but Billy makes it fresh. And I tried it and I'm like, dude, give me a coffee. Like, I don't even want to finish this. I want to dunk it in a coffee. And so he's coming over, tomorrow. Billy's coming to listen to the 370s. You should come over here, Jono, because he's going to make some sandwiches over here. He's definitely going to get in on them. But, yeah, so I can't wait. I'm already licking my lips, waiting for Billy's grub. Billy knows how to feed a muv for sure.
Well, that's the magic here is we get to share in each other's like benefit from each other's expertises and their passions.
That's it.
And everybody's got usually a couple of socks in their drawer that are special. And we
Billy's got special sandwich socks. Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure, man. Jono can teach you everything you want to know about shooting, man. He is my my armament instructor. Yep, for sure. Someday we'll do a discussion on that and talk with people.
Yeah, I know a thing or two about the woman's body as well.
Right? Exactly. We could go into that.
I'm gonna get kicked off the show.
Yeah. All right, man. Okay, brother. Well, look, thanks for joining us. We'll say bye, and then I'll go into these other comments here. So,
all right.
Thanks for joining, man. Talk to you soon, man.
You got it.
Okay. See
you.
See you. See ya. Okay, everybody. So anybody wants to join in, here is the number. That's the number. Call into my Bolinas, California phone number. If anybody knows 415, that's San Francisco. If you know 484, that is Bolinas. Hippie place, an old hippie place. Pretty cool place. Kind of on your way to Stinson Beach. 415-484-5121 if you want to be a guest on the OCD Mikey show. Just call in and bring whatever you got. And you can talk with the tribe. I'll let it roll for a little while. Okay, so let's get back to, we're finished up with Billy. Thanks again, Billy. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow, man. Fernando says, hey, Mikey, for someone going for the first time, is there a big difference between Munich and Axpona? If so, what is the main one? Sure, it's different mainly in the people that attend. It's Europe, so it's high-end. It's high-end audio, high-end clientele. You don't really see many. Here it's like it's always kind of, we're the nerd crew. We're the total nerd crew. Freaking fanny packs and shorts and like Americans. We're just freaking Americans, you know. In Europe, it's suits and nice Italian shoes and, you know, beautiful women and, you know, great food. And it's right across the street from the sickest exotic car. It's not a museum, but it's like all these exotic cars that are for sale. And MV Augusta and who else is there? Aprilia or MV. So all the hot rod stuff. There's no track right over there, but there's a Bugatti. You know, I saw the sickest cars over there, Aston Martin, and it's a hotel. We stayed in that hotel, so it's fun and it's fun to go to Munich. I am not going to go to Munich this year because when I go to Munich, I stay 6 weeks in Europe. And I travel around, and we just did that last year. So we're going to do it every other year. Cause we do a month and a half out there. And next year it's in Vienna. So I can't wait for in 2026, it's going to be Austria. So I've got plans for Austria and where we go from Vienna. It includes a riverboat trip, Croatia, some other cool shit. We'll probably go back and see Nat Audio in Serbia again. We'll see Bronco in Belgrade, our hi-fi tribe member or chapter, shall I say, in Belgrade, Serbia. So it is, let me take the banner off so I don't keep bugging you with that. Yeah. So the big difference is it's European brands. It's it's not a lot of like little DIY hobbyist dealers and shit like that. Like here in the US, you get a lot of local dealers that are there and they're just doing, or you get like DIY sort of type brands. Like you're not going to see Danny Ritchie exhibiting at frickin' Munich. Let's put it that way. Yeah, that is a stab, but why not? You're going to see just bigger brands, more refined, elegant, classy. It's just a little more classy. I guess that's if I got to put it into one word, as I say, it's more classy. The difference. Wear a t-shirt that says, "I can't keep secrets." Yeah, totally, man. That's funny. He's talking about how to not get picked for jury duty. Hey, Mike, what is the recommended amplifier power for the Fisher and Fisher 170s? So, you know, it can be whatever. I mean, you can power them with 8 watts, you know. What do I recommend? 100 solid state 100 watts. I would recommend 100 watts. You can go as high as you want. As you know, with any speaker, it's always totally better to overpower it than to underpower it. So I would say 100 watts. You could easily do it with 50 watts of class A. Not a problem. But, you know, I like to have things that are, and when I put systems together for people, I don't put together things that just work. You know, oh, that'll work. No, you never hear that come out of my mouth. I will not. I want to create things for people that it's more than they will use. It'll do more than they are willing to do. It'll go. That's why my company is called 11 Stereo. And you guys all know this, 11stereo.com. And if you haven't given me a thumbs up right now, give me a thumbs up, please, on this video. So the reason it's 11 Stereo, because I go one more than any other dealer out there. And that means I give you things and I suggest, and when I create audio systems, they will do more than you're willing to do. They will play louder than, or just stronger and have more balls than you're used to. You're not going to be able to break them, in other words. A lot of systems, hi-fi systems, you turn them up too loud, you break shit. It breaks. My systems don't break. So and part of that, and how this segues into your question, is that I don't suggest things that are kind of like just work, you know. So 8 watts would work with the 170s, but I wouldn't ever put somebody into one of those speakers and give them a single-ended triode with the 300B. You know, I would use a different speaker for that. and they are coming. By the way, I have the minor announcement for everybody. We'll say announcement right now. I gotta have a little thing that I press. It goes bang, 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 and shows announcement when I make announcements. The announcement is that I have the new Meitner MA3 Plus or MA3i here now, and I will be listening to the comparison. It's a very good piece to begin with. I really like it. However, I'm probably too picky with the things that I choose. But that's why I choose so few things, is because I'm very specialized in the way I create audio systems. You come to me for Mikey, you don't come to me for, just, a whole, just whatever the product of the day is, right? My products don't change. They stay the same. Look at my rig. How long has Playback Design's been in there? For the last 4 years, every single day. So I'd say 100 watts, 50 watts Class A, 100 watts AB. How's that? Hey, Mikey. Hey, Tribe. What's up? Dan, welcome. Wong says, can't you get out of jury duty by saying you're the only one running your business and it would be a great financial burden? Yes, but then I'd be lying because I can run my business and do jury duty. I can do both. It ties my hands for a little bit, and I have to do my business now in the evenings instead of during the day. And then I package my stuff at night and set them out when I leave in the morning to get picked up, whatever's shipping that I have to ship. A lot of my other stuff ships direct from distribution. So it doesn't, and then on the breaks that I get there, I answer my texts and stuff like that from break or from lunch. So I didn't want to lie to them. I want to just go in and just be who I am. And look, they either picked me or they didn't. And they ended up picking me, and I'm actually enjoying it, which is crazy. I'm actually digging it. I'm into the whole thing. It's like, you're not watching Law and Order, you're freaking living it. And I don't even watch Law and Order. I'm not into those kind of shows, but it's cool to see it real time. It's so interesting to watch how people respond to questioning. Interesting how they lay up their questions. It's if I was in a professional, if I was going to be doctor, lawyer, whatever, one of those professional things, I would definitely be a lawyer. And I would be a trial lawyer. I would be in there talking to the jury, doing what these guys do. Like I'm like, this is cool, man. It's like, it's cool what they, we had a woman that came up today. She must have been like an assistant DA, because the DA was there. He was talking and doing all this stuff. And then she came to do this last bit. I think they were probably like, okay, you do this last thing and practice or whatever it seemed like. But man, she was sharp. She was really sharp. And I was just like, wow, it's like watching a rock star or something. You watch a good attorney like that, it's like seeing a performer. You're like, wow, you can like totally appreciate the talent. You're like, man, she's good. Very precise, very concise, very just professional. It's just cool to watch, man. Oh, well, have fun with it, Mikey. I have been. I served on 2 juries and I enjoyed both. There you go, man. Yeah, it is. It's interesting. I think it's great, but then again, I'm a retired lawyer. Were you a trial lawyer or what? Thoughts on acoustics, isolators, springs and rubber, man. Over time, springs wear out. A spring doesn't always stay springy. So what is the duty life on those things? When do they wear out? Because they're not going to have the same properties in 3 years that they do when they're new. So my feeling on springs underneath your gear, I don't think it makes sense. I don't even like the idea. So that's my feeling. Can they sound good? Sure. Some people like them. I think if I was going to go with those kind of rubbery things, I might choose stack audio over them. But really, I prefer rigid coupling. So I prefer brass, and you guys all know I like live vibe audio, live vibe audio for rigid coupling. Mikey, and I'm actually going to do a video. Keep your eyes peeled, because a video is coming up where I take those wooden speakers that are from Oriaco, and I try different footers underneath, so you can hear the difference between a hard rigid coupling and rubbery quote unquote isolation, which there is no such thing as isolation when there's gravity. It's really just less efficient coupling versus very efficient coupling. That's the true terms that we should be using for that. Audio Engine said that going from 16-bit audio to 24-bit is like video going from standard definition to HD. Thoughts? Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, sure, there's greater potential there, you know, but how is it implemented, right? So that statement there is extremely general. It's a very general term. It couldn't be more wide, right? There's so many qualifiers within that that would be required to make a judgment, that it's not enough information for me to give you my opinion. Sure, 24-bit has more potential, but it depends. You know, I mean, who recorded the 16-bit versus who recorded the 24-bit? You know, how there's so many variables within that I couldn't give a direct answer. There's more potential for it. Let's put it that way. That's all I can tell you from that, from that type of a general statement. I served once, don't need to do it again. Interesting. Based on what I've been doing so far, but I've been there 2 days so far, 2 full days of trial. I would definitely do it again. But what sounds horrible is the grand jury shit where they put you on for 6 months or a year, and you have to. What the hell's going on? Oh, she's doing freaking dishes or some shit in there. It's making a lot of noise. I served on a federal grand jury. There you're talking about nothing but drugs and prostitution cases. Wow. Boring. You know? And then how long did you have to do it? Did you have to do it like 6 months or a year, like once a month or once every 2 weeks or something? One thing I've learned is audio people are awesome. I've been on the Audio Mart since 2011, never been ripped off, sending money to complete strangers. Wow, dude, you are freaking lucky. What I've learned is Hi-Fi Tribe people are awesome. Some audio people are awesome. And there's a whole contingent of audio people that I call audio weenies that are completely not awesome. They're completely uncool. There's also another group of audiophiles that are know-it-all jackasses that just, you know, think they know everything and they totally don't. There's another audiophile called the Arrogant Prick, which is above everybody else because they have a more expensive audio system and they love to show it off. Some of them, and then there's the audio people that they're not even audio people, trophy buyers that just buy. They're above the Arrogant Pricks. They're actually the real people that would have grounds for being arrogant because they actually are billionaires or whatever. It's still stupid to be arrogant, but nonetheless, and they don't even use their systems many times. So, and then if we go on the other side, not the listeners, and we talk about audio people like manufacturer, there's complete charlatans out there that are full of complete shit, selling a pile of malarkey. And, you know, there's a lot of shit in this industry. So I think that I pull the audio people together that are great audio people. I collect them into the tribe. You know, we collect each other. And so, but I don't think it's across the board, man. But I'm glad you have. Be careful sending money to complete strangers, man. Be careful. I mean, there's some other YouTubers out there making videos about people getting ripped off. Where the problem comes, why you've never been ripped off, most likely is because you're probably not trying to whittle someone down into Audacity. You're not looking for the deal of the century. When you start looking for unrealistic deals, that's when you get ripped off because you're an easy mark, you know, trying to be bigger than you are, trying to be more of a player than you are. You're just a punk, but you're trying to be a player and buy the big shit, and you're trying to get it at 80% off, and you're just a pinche, you know, cheap guy, you know. But and those guys kind of get karma, you know. But you're probably a good guy. That's probably why you haven't been ripped off. Maybe because you're a good guy. Maybe you got good street smarts, good etiquette. You know how to buy online. But man, I've heard a bunch of crazy stories. Grapevine, Texas. Okay, that's what I thought. Yep. And Louisiana. Hey, Mikey, please tell us your first pair of hi-fi speakers, when and where you got them. Mine, pricked out from Family Stereo, Swollen Store. From my first pair of hi-fi speakers were KLH. And where I got them was one of those radio. I'm pretty sure that's where I got them. It was one of those radio announcements on the radio station where they're like, we've got amplifiers, 500 watts, $49. Speakers, 15-inch woofer, $99. You know, like that one of those commercials, you know, and it's like at the fairgrounds, you know, blah, blah, blah. And we went there. We'll take any trade, you know, and all this shit. So I gathered up all this old shit from around the house. My dad's like old ass color TV, like, you know, clock radio, just like whatever the fuck I could put together. And then went over there with like my mom, and I got some KLH speakers and a Sony, you know, receiver that had a push button. Didn't even have knobs on it. It was push button, and a little light went up, you know. And that was my first audio system. Well, wait, before that, I had a Whopper Flopper that was like what was it? A Crown or a, oh man, it was one of those. You know what a Whopper Flopper is? A Whopper Flopper is like the receiver that has the record player on top of it. And then a cassette. It's got a cassette on the side, a tuner, and then a turntable on top. It's just all in one piece. And it was like, it wasn't Crown or Crest, but it was something like that. You know, one of those off, you know, brands from back in the day. You know, maybe it was Crown, but not the Pro Audio. I don't know. Whatever it was. That was what I had before the Sony. And then I remember getting the Sony and being like, ooh, I'm moving up in the world. That was not silver. The Whopper Flopper was silver. And then the Sony was black. And it was like, ooh, I'm into the black shit now, man. This is the good shit. You know, I've graduated. And then the KLH, and we proceeded to blow the speakers. My first party that I had, and we had the kids over, you know, we were in high school, and the stoners were like up there cranking the Grateful Dead, and they played it too loud and blew the speakers. And I was like, damn, my speakers are cooked now. Yeah, that was it. And then I didn't do hi-fi again until I was an adult, or more of an adult. Ziggy said hello from Chirac. Chirac. Chi-town, but it's Iraq because there's so many killings. Is that what's going on, Ziggy? Ziggy's got Ziggy, you got a Harley? What is that? Looks like a fat boy. And you got high bars too, man. He's got apes on that thing. Sweet Ziggy, I just bought a Fat Bob with a 131 stage 4 and exhaust and all the shit. The thing's a ripper, dude. It spits fire. It's fun as hell. But then I have a Ducati for actually sporting. Dutch Colonial. There it is. Dutch Colonial, like a barn in New England. Yeah, exactly. So that's Billy's house. Like your video about speaker cables and actually taking them apart and showing the materials. Field charging 1,500 shows they have no integrity, or should, for that matter. No, it's look, all is fair in marketing. So there's nothing wrong with what they're doing, you know, and maybe it sounds good that way. But what I'm just pointing out is just beware of what you're buying, and ask questions, and maybe find out a little bit more. What they call that shit is hollow braid. Okay. That is a made up name. There is no thing in the industry called hollow braid. It's called flat braid, and it's used for grounding. It's used for shielding sometimes, but round braid is what's used for shielding, not flat braid. You can use flat braid for shielding, but typically it's grounding. And so they make it with oxygen-free copper instead of tough pitch. It's 101 alloy instead of 110 alloy. It's an incremental upcharge. and then they put it into lamp cord or whatever that stuff is, and then they fold it over and turn it into a single conductor, and then they get a patent on that geometry, somehow saying that it's better for audio. Okay, and if Dan Sealander is on here listening right now, we won't ask him why, but he can tell us how easy it is to get stupid shit patented. I don't know, Dan, if I just got in trouble with Dan, but Dan's a good IP attorney, and he can make miracles happen. My pass labs is class A up to 30 watts. Awesome. Then it's AB after that. The gauge needle never budges, so I guess the amp is in class A all the time. Yes, it is. Could you explain all this? Isn't it just a class A amp? It is a class A amp if the needle doesn't budge. So if 30 watt, if it's class A up to 30 watts, then the rest. Okay, so if 60 watts is full power, then that thing would be buried at full power. At full output, that needle's buried. So you're using very little. That means the amp has high current for one, and it means that the Fisher and Fishers are not hard to drive. They're over 90 dB. I think your 570s are like 93 or something like that, which is 92, something like that, which is pretty freaking efficient. You know, anything over 95, you're going to start to get into Tweaksville. What I mean by that is now you're going to start to hear every little freaking noise, every little hum, any anomaly is going to be exacerbated by something that is like over 96 dB. You get into anything over 100, forget about it. It's a double-edged sword, man. It's going to be very sensitive, and it's going to tell you a lot, but then again, it's going to reveal every little problem very well. So they're very tweaky. You really have to, they're unforgiving when they get that sensitive. They're easy to drive and they work with anything, but they're unforgiving insofar as the sonic is concerned. Why AB at 30 watts? Thanks for considering this admittedly convoluted question. Well, because they have to make it AB after 30 watts, or the amp would be 200 pounds and heat your room or heat the house, whatever, and suck too much current out of the wall. So it doesn't make sense. You really don't need class A that high, and anybody that has a regular size amp and says, oh, it's 100 class A watts. No way. It's not 100. It's not 200. Anybody that says 600 watts class A, no, doesn't exist. I think some of these guys claim that, like, maybe, I don't even know if Griffin does. I think those Griffin big monsters are like 200 watts class A, and they're freaking, 400 pounds or something, so it's for many reasons, but A is very inefficient and very large and heavy. And it's a big drag to make a powerful class A. It's easy to keep them under 50 watts. 50 watts and under is probably, understandably reasonable to make. If the defense says they were framed, that's the Hail Mary defense. Oh, yeah. Huh. That's like when they have no defense, you mean? And they're just like trying to just toss it. They were framed. That's interesting. That's interesting. I could see this one going that way. After it's done, I'll tell you guys all the details about it. It's pretty heavy duty what happened. I mean, it's not just some little drugs or prostitution. It's capital shit. It's like this guy could, he could have a heavy duty sentence, or death. I don't even know if we have death penalty here. Great how you are implementing moves to navigate any terrorists. Yeah. Yep. I mean, it just sort of makes sense. And it's something that I was thinking of doing anyways, especially with the heavy stuff, the 570s and stuff like that, for me to take them in here and then to reship them. And anything at some point, what I'm going to do is with the Fisher and Fishers, I will look at what my duties are to import and what the shipping is. And I will probably make a price, including shipping to whatever country you're in, where there isn't a Fisher and Fisher dealer. And I can ship globally. John's Roast Pork in South Philly. There you go. Good old Johnny. Okay, so I'll just remember the Big John. So it's John's Roast Pork in South Philly. It was good shit, man. That was my favorite one. But that beef was good too, brother. Mikey, how can REL speaker level connection be better than line level? Is everyone else doing it wrong? I don't think it's better. I don't think it's better. I think it's worse. I don't like speaker level connection. I think it's a really janky way to hook up a sub. It will blow up your amplifier. If your amplifier is, some class Ds will blow up from that. And anything balanced, if it's a true balanced amplifier that's balanced on the outputs, you'll blow it up if you hook it up that way. With balanced, you have to leave one of the things hanging off, and then it's just cockamamie way to hook up a subwoofer. It's to me, it's just retarded. It's the way they made it so that they can sell subwoofers to people that don't have proper subwoofer hookups. That's why that whole thing exists. You can sell it to somebody that doesn't have the proper system for a subwoofer. So that means you can sell it to everybody. And so it makes tons of business sense, and they've been very successful with it. And they do play bombastic, but to me, it's like having a car stereo that just boom, 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 boom. It's just stupidity to me. A big subwoofer that just makes the whole house rattle, to me, is just kind of like, it's a cheap thrill. It's like, so really, that's what you're going to do to impress me, is show me how much bass it has? Like dildosity. Okay. I'm making a t-shirt. Stop the dildosity, right? Because that is pure dildosity to me. I'm not impressed by your fucking bass output, dude. Okay. That is third grade level. We can do that at Guitar Center with big club PA shit. Okay. I can pop the roof off the lid of your house. Okay. That's not what's cool. To me. Okay. What's cool is having connection to the music, not noticing the bass. I don't want to notice the bass. I don't even want to think, wow, that's a lot of bass. I don't want to think about that. I want to go, holy shit, does this sound good? Like, wow, what is this song about? All my thoughts should be music centric, not gear centric. So I don't like big boomy subs. I don't like subs. I don't use subs. New to the tribal Ziggy from Chicago. New to the tribe. Okay. Zig Zigadig Dig says, hello, Mikey and the tribe. Zig, tell me about your ride there, dude. It looks like you got a scooter. I'm looking. I can't make that thing get any bigger, but it looks like a scooter to me, man. What do you got, bro? Let's talk motorcycles for a second. AAE, what's up, brother? Thumbs up, gives us a thumbs up. Marvin Haywood, do you use a streamer? Yeah, absolutely, I do. I do. That's all I'm going to ask, because he didn't ask anything else. That's all I'm going to answer. Sub-Zig says stereo. In jury duty, do they remove you from media so as to remove any external bias? I've seen that. Well, I mean, our trial isn't big enough that it's in the national news, which is kind of what you're talking about. But they tell us, do not research the defendant's name, don't go to any of the locations that you hear. Don't try and investigate. You have to remove yourself from all that shit. And then you need to only deliberate based on the evidence. You can't even deliberate based on testimony of people that were questioned. You need to deliberate based on the evidence that's provided. And that's how you deliberate. And it needs to be beyond a reasonable doubt. And so this dude's going to get a fair trial, man, and that's what's cool about partaking in this, is it is the cornerstone of what makes the United States such a beautiful country to live in. I know we're fucked up in many ways, right? Because we're the global bully. It looks like we're going to have the Gaza Riviera pretty soon. But I called that dude the second there was a war. The second that jihadists penetrated the Iron Dome in freaking paragliders, I'm like, there's no fucking way they got across the border in paragliders like that. There's no way that just happened. Okay. So my speculation in if I'm going to be conspiracy minded, is they let it happen in order to condone attacking Gaza in a way to grab land. I mean, annexing is just too passe. It's too old school. It's too Russia. They wouldn't do that. They've got to create this whole thing. So there's a reason why they're going to go in and do it. And I said it the day that it happened and the war started. This was what I said. It's a land grab. They're going to take it from the poor people because it's beautiful oceanfront property. Anyways, so sorry to get sidetracked, but yeah, so they tell us you can't do that, you can't do any of that. So I'm following all the rules, because I want to just go by the book. And as I was saying, what makes the United States so great is our judicial system, not Department of Justice, not FBI and all those three-letter agencies that are, henchmen, but our courts. And so it's great to be participating in the thing that makes the USA so great. Innocent until proven guilty. So they're going to have to prove this mofo guilty. Like, you can't come in and just look at somebody and go, they're guilty based on what this guy looks like, because otherwise he'd be guilty. This fucker looks scary, right? But like, can't do it, man. Guy's innocent until you prove to me, Mr. DA. And so they're doing a good job. Yeah, it's very interesting. I'll get more into it after it's done. Kenny's Hi-Fi Down Under. I was attempting to explain to my community on yesterday's Kenny and Deborah show how you say the drumstick hits the surround. No, that's okay. I'll explain it again. The drumstick does not hit the surround. I think what you're talking about is that in a very high-end audio system, everybody listen now, this is important. A drumstick has 3 different parts of its sound. It's just like wine tasting. There's an attack. That is the first sound that you hear. That is a tick. With a drum or hitting a cymbal, and I'm talking about a drumstick hitting a cymbal, not on a drum. There's a tick. That's the first. That's the attack. Tick. And then there's an evolution, the cymbal getting gradually louder. And then there's the decay. That's the cymbal getting gradually quieter. Right? Okay, you know what I mean, right? It goes like this, up and then down, tick, and then up and then down. So there's 3 parts of a cymbal hit: attack, evolution, and decay. Okay, and you should be able to hear that, especially on a ride cymbal. Okay, you can listen to it on, you can hear it very clearly on Pink Floyd, The Wall, side B, first song, Hey You. Very clear and obvious ride cymbal with a tick and an attack, evolution, and delay. You can hear decay. The exact thing that I'm talking about. You can hear it on Pink Floyd, The Wall, side B, first song. You can also, I can't remember, but this is a great song regardless. Ted Nugent, Stranglehold. Just a phenomenal rock song. God, when I hear that thing, I want to crank the music. I can't help it. And you want a system that does it, right? If you feel like it, if you're so inclined to crank music, which I am when I get excited on certain rock and roll shit that you just need to hear loud for some reason. So that's it. I hope that makes sense, Kenny. It's the sound of a drumstick hitting a cymbal, and it's the realization that it is 3 different parts of sound. It has 3 different distinct separate parts. If you have any questions, ask again, but that was it. I hope I explained it well. Sonny Railwall says, hey, Mikey, what plays better with the MPD8, DAC, tubes, or solid state? Both. There's nothing that doesn't play well with the MPD8 DAC. The MPD8 DAC is the centerpiece of every system, and you build around it. You start with the MPD8, and then you build around that thing. That is the heart. It works with everything. There's nothing yet. MPD8 does not need to be matched with anything. MPD8 is perfectly freaking neutral. You hear the music and the music only. It does not impart its own signature on the music whatsoever. You hear the freaking music. It is, and that's it. So it works with tube, solid state, works with horn speakers, works with hard to drive speakers. It works with analytical stuff speakers. It works with soft sounding speakers. It works with absolutely freaking everything. There's nothing it does not work with. Hey, Tribe, Drago checking in from Evanston. Dan, I brought you up earlier when we were talking about IP. Dan has an MPD8. What do you think, Dan? How is that MPD8? Again, I just did a video the other day regarding MPD8. I'm pretty sure I have like 53 of those units in the field. It is the most prolific, most beautiful, organic sounding digital piece of gear that I think exists. Anybody that says it's not is exposing themselves as either a fool or a shill that's straight up lying to you to try and slight the person selling the MPD8, because the MPD8 is the absolute final choice for digital music. Why do you think MoFi chose it? Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab uses the A to D called the Pinot by Playback Designs to archive their master tapes and make vinyl from. And when they play it back, they use the MPD8. They could have anything, man. It's MoFi. It's Mobile Fidelity. They could have any DAC they want. And they don't even sell it. MoFi is part of, isn't it part of Music First or Music Direct, if I'm not mistaken? So Music Direct, think about them. They're a huge catalog. They could have they could just call up anybody they want and get a DAC, right? They don't sell it, and they sell a bunch of DACs. But the one they use isn't even the one that they sell in their catalog. They don't even sell it, but they certainly use it. They chose it. Why? Because it's the best one there is. It's the closest thing to analog master tape, is listening to digital through an MPD8. You just can't get any closer to master tape than the MPD8. So anybody that says that it's not good or they heard it wasn't good, they just look at them like they're dildos and understand they're idiots. They're just parroting something they heard. They probably have never heard it. And if they say they've heard it, then you got to seriously question what their motive is, because they don't know their head from their ass if they don't think it sounds good, because it is amazing. I'll see you, everyone. I hope I find you all well tonight, man. Did you, dear Bashem, is this Daniel? Like, man, there's only one other guy that used to say Osio, and it's Native American, isn't it? But you have a different moniker. I do appreciate how you're not pretentious. No, I'm a little rough around the edges. I'm a little direct. I'm a little abrasive, because a lot of times I'm just genuine, man. I'm just giving you exactly how I feel. And yeah, I'm not necessarily like, I don't cloak it. Maybe it's more gentleman-like, or, upscale to not, show it, but I'm softening, I'm getting. Look, the more money I make, the less I have to be abrasive. I had to make a point. And once you are rolling and your foot, and I've got the foothold in the industry that I needed when I first started, now I don't care. It's like things don't get me upset like they used to, because I'm rolling and it's taken off, and people appreciate what I'm doing. You guys, and thank you very much, all of you that have given me your business. I've gotten just an exponential amount of business, and I'm doing what I love, which is taking care of people and making their lifestyles better with the audio systems that I sell them, making them absolutely stoked and bringing music into their life in a meaningful way. That's what I do. That's how I get my feel goods. Guess I got lucky. You have been lucky, brother. Yeah, there is a lot of hustlers out there. Good to see you, Mikey. Good to see you, Adir. And I want to know again, is this Daniel? Peace, Mikey and Tribe. Oakland in the house. What is up? Broham Ski. Good to see you, man. I got to meet your ass sometime. When I come out to Oakland, I'm gonna look you up, and then we're gonna go out. We'll go down to Yoshi's, man, and get some sushi and jazz. I'm just a punk. The cheap shit is all I can afford. Well, that doesn't matter, if you're a music lover, that you're not nah, you're not a punk, man. I don't think anybody's a punk. If you're a music lover, look, there's ways to make cheap systems work. And what do you got there? He's got a fucking gold top. Yeah, real punk. He's got a 57 gold top sitting there. He's got $100,000 Les Paul, and that's all he can afford is the cheap shit. But he's got, even if that is a shit ass Les Paul, it's $2,500. If it's some copy, if it's one of those black market things that they caught coming across. Did you see all the Chinese fucking the Chinese Gibsons that came across that they busted on the in the port? I think it was the port of Miami or port of New York. They got millions and millions of dollars worth of fake Gibsons from China. What bass response were you getting from the little Fisher and Fishers you had set up at Capitol Audio? Well, I mean, did you see the guys that were there? They were all asking, where's the subwoofer? How many watts were the monoblock nats that were in the room? Those were 30 watts. So I had 30 watts of class A single-ended triode. Okay, so that's about the most strong, pure watts you can get. And if you looked at how tall those transformers were, look what's making 30 watts, like 70 pounds of transformers, you know what I mean? So all watts are not equal, right? Class A watts in single-ended triode are the equivalent watts in solid state would be like 100 watts, you know? Yeah, so those were a great team. I still have those amps, by the way. I have 2 pair, and that is a great introduction to single-ended triode. You get 30 and 60, or is it 25 and 50? I think it's 30 and 60. You have 2 different settings for low and high. They're complete single-ended class A tube monos for 12,500. You can't get mono blocks like that for that kind of money using a GM70. Those are, you know, to get amps like that, you're spending 25, 30 grand, and they're made in Italy or something like that, or wherever, or Japan. Waveac. I don't even know if Waveac uses GM70, but it is a loss leader. It's ridiculous. That price is ridiculous. You have to understand 4 amps up from that one is $96,000. So it's their low price leader. You still gotta jump on the NAT stuff before it's too late, because they're top of the line. This last year went from 45, it doubled to 90, well, even over doubled to 96,000. And you know, as they update their models, they'll probably start doing that across the board. And so you snooze, you lose, man. A lot of times you gotta jump on the Fishers too while they're still totally reasonable. Because understand, once the demand goes up, man, they need to curb it back. When the demand goes up, you're sending the manufacturer a sign, your shit's not priced high enough. So they change it eventually. When they get really popular, they change it. And the Fisher and Fishers are about ready to explode. Not many people have heard them because the US has not been penetrated with this brand, and that's what I'm doing. Once it's the secret's out, the demand is gonna go through the roof. So get yours now while you can at the reasonable cost that they are, because they're really a very, very extremely fair price. You will absolutely think you got your money's worth. I will guarantee it. Love the music my cheap shit plays through. Well, that's all that matters, man. Car audio is what I used to have. Before I had an audio rig, I had to do my cars. And I think my whole audio system was $3,500 in my car. And that was like competition level, precision power, Eclipse head unit, half-DIN EQ in the dash, 30 band EQ behind my seat, dual JL subs, MB Court drivers in the pods, the kick pods. I had custom kick pods made in a little shit-ass pickup truck. That's funny. Thoughts on hearing health? Many audio enthusiasts have dirty ears and are missing a lot. Wax kills audio. Yeah, I don't know, man. I still have to go get my ears cleaned to and then let you guys know, because that's what I've heard, you know, what you're saying. But they also say that you need wax in your ears because it's what, like, you know, catches the dust or whatever, you know. So I'll go try it though, and I can give you guys a report. I had a Hitachi all-in-one. There you go, man. So you know what I'm talking about. You picking up what I'm laying down. Whopper flopper. Exactly. That's it, man. They're whopper floppers. My first was a Kenwood preamp and amp and Pioneer HPM 900. Speakers were $100, I think, at Goodwill. Yeah, and Kenwood were dirt cheap on eBay before people got into the vintage gear. Yeah, exactly. Before it became a fad. And I don't care, man. They can have it. Like, I'm not even into that shit at all. It looks cool, but I don't care about vintage. Just like vintage motorcycles. They're cool, but I would never want to drive one. They call them music centers in the Great Britain. Oh, that's cool. Music centers. Plugged a cheap DVD player into it and went to town. There you go, man. You probably jammed. I mean, look, you're a musician. I take it if you've got a Les Paul in your image. So if you play music, then you don't really give a shit. My brother is a guitarist and he could give 2 shits about his audio system. He doesn't care at all about it. It's just like, the guy who's, a carpenter for a living. His deck is not finished and shit like that at home. Like a lot of times they don't do the shit at home because they do it all day for work. Well, it's like, if you're a musician, you make music, man. You don't need recreated music. You make it, you play it, you want to hear music, you go sit down and play your freaking Les Paul. Didn't someone comment that those were not the real cables? Yeah, I saw that one thing. What ridiculous. That's what's funny. And that was the guy that said those are fake because the real ones are hollow braid. Whoa. Okay, so that guy's under the ether. As he how would you maintain a hollow braid's form? You can't. It squishes down. It's a flat braid. There is no such thing as hollow braid. There's something called round braid, okay? And that one is thicker and it comes in a circle. But there is no oval or hollow braid. Hollow braid is a made-up name. So he was saying because they didn't look like they were hollow braid that they were fake. These things are not fake. They're the real deal. They're absolutely real. I didn't buy them on fucking Etsy, or I mean on Temu or some shit, right? They came from a client who had them and traded in some speakers and shit, and then he gave me those, and they're definitely real. They're old. When shifting to monoblock amps, is it preferred to position the amps close to the speakers in favor of short speaker cable runs? Yes, it is. Absolutely. Should I sit near field or midfield in a 17 by 11 room with floor standers? It depends. In a 17 by 11, typically, well, I'd have to see the room and see what's on the walls and see what kind of furniture is in there to give you a proper, real answer to that. And if it's only a listening room or is it used for other things and whatever, there's a lot of things I'd need to know to give you an answer to that. Yes, it's easy to get patents on most anything. Befriend the examiner and one can get most things allowed as patents. Oh, there you go, man. Golf with the examiner. Mikey, can you explain why some speakers nowadays have side-firing woofers? Won't those always be out of phase from the front drivers? Yeah, you have to do things to compensate for it. The reason they do it is because you can make the speaker thinner. If you put a big woofer on front, you get a wide front baffle. But if you want to maintain a skinny profile and have deep bass, then you have to put side-firing woofers. They run them to work together. They're not out when one goes this way, the other goes. They do that together. They go out and in together, so they're not out of phase with one another. Yeah, who knows? I know that some people do it well, some people don't. That's all I can say. PS Audio advises that connection. Yeah. So what? PS Audio, dude. It's like saying Casio says make a watch, with a battery in it. Yes, couldn't get my rails to work with my balanced amps. Yeah, good thing you didn't blow them up, Scott. Had to run them through the pre. Hey, with the LRS Plus, you need subs. Absolutely. At SAY, who's SAY? Mikey can explain what's keeping on. Is what they always. Yeah, maybe you can explain to us. Can you do a video on Danny Ritchie's email? Oh God, I mean, I don't know if I want to do that because you know what it is. It's me creating drama for the purpose of clicks. And I see it as manipulating you guys, right? It's like a dirty little trick I can do. If I do a video, I thought about doing it and someone suggested, fuck it, do it, man. Show everybody what Danny's really like, because Danny plays this character of this real calm, like professional guy. But when in the email, you see how egotistical he is, how much he's got delusions of grandeur and how he thinks that he designed for everybody, I asked Magnapan. He alludes that he did design for Magnapan. I asked Magnapan if they've ever hired him. They said, not in the 12 years that I've been here. We've never hired him for shit. So, Danny's on his own in Dannyland in his own world, and him and New Record Day, help each other sell, which is fine. But just so you guys know, New Record Day is just shilling Danny his friend's stuff, you know? So you can take what he says with a grain of salt. And, you know, I mean, what's the experience of these guys anyways? Not Danny. We know Danny has experience, but what's the experience of Ron Bernay? You know, I mean, he's a decent guy. I don't have anything against the guy, but you know, what wasn't he? He's it's things called New Record Day. Didn't he used to, I don't even know what his channel used to be like. Wasn't it talking about records and stuff? And then all of a sudden he's a hi-fi expert talking that Danny's thing is preserving imaging. The way Ron described Danny's speaker, I puked in my mouth and then swallowed it back. You know, it's like, it's the same. You guys are getting the same shit, parroted nonsense, ishkabibble, pablum, just vomit, word salad that just means nothing. And it's no indication of whether the speaker sounds good or not. It's just how it's marketed is a fucking joke. If they didn't market it like that, maybe we might, you know, be like a little more light on listening to it and stuff like that. But it's like when they market it like that, it's like I don't even want to like it. You know, I'm already biased against it because of how they market it. I'm already negative on it just because it's pushed that way. And they use their friends in the media. It's the same shit they do in the magazines. You use your friends in the media to push your shit. Pimp my shit for me, friend. You know, hey, friend, you're a writer for Stereophile. Help me out. Help me out, brother. You know, I need some help. I want some money. Help me out. Okay, cool. I'll help you out. You know, and you're helping a brother. And you don't even have to make them as Danny or Ron saying, no, I don't make any money from this. That doesn't matter, dude. You're still not going to say bad things. Whether Danny pays you or not is not going to change that you're going to hook up a brother, you know, regardless if you're getting paid. He's your friend, man. So it's the same shit, you know, it's nepotism. So yeah, so doing a video on Danny Ritchie's email, it's just opening a can of worms. You know, it's not like I'm afraid to do it. It's just like I feel too seedy doing it. To me, it would be lowering myself to a seedy level. It would be like being a tabloid, right? Like the National Enquirer. Like I'm doing some shit that's really just low hanging fruit just to try and get clicks. And it would get clicks, right? Because everybody, oh my God, did you see blah, blah? Because it's like a train wreck, right? Look, we all know that you guys jump for train wrecks. You like to see porn and guts, right? Like carnage, whether it's forced and unlawful or whether it is just train wreck, you know, whatever. People want to see the nasty shit, but I don't want to be the tool that delivers it because then I'm just a stupid tool douchebag, putting stuff out there that upsets the hen house that I know is going to upset the hen house. I do that stuff few and far between. You know why? Because it doesn't make me feel good. I could do an expose on Danny's email and just make him look like a douche. I could pull out all the hypocrisies in his email where he says certain things that are complete fucking lies. Like I'll give you an example. He says in there, I do DIY kits and I don't just, and the reason I do kits is because if I made a speaker, it's so that I don't compete with the people that I design for. Okay, so he's telling me in his email that he doesn't do speakers because it would be too much of a competition. He might take sales away from the guys that he designs for, yet he's just releasing a speaker. And he's got the in Exoticas and other shit. So I know he makes speakers, but he's still got the gall to tell me in an email that he doesn't sell speakers because it competes with the companies that he's done design for. You know, and then he alludes to, he said, well, you made another thing was, and I'll just point this out because this way I'm just talking about it, not trying to make a whole video about it. Another thing was, I said in his thing, I said, Danny, you're just, you know, if you just market and just say you're after sales, but I said, you're using Magico and Wilson in your titles and in your images and your thumbnails, to try and use the name Wilson and Magico so that you can release your damn product. You're trying to get a bunch of eyes on you, a bunch of new subscribers before you release a product. It's such a obvious, you know, method that you're using. And he said in his thing, I've never used Magico once in my titles. And I sent him a picture of his fucking thumbnail that said Magico and Wilson, which one's better? It's like, dude, how stupid do you think I am? Do you think so? I proved it. I sent him proof of him using Magico, and but he still will lie outright, direct to you like that. So to me, the guy's full of shit. And he doesn't need to be. That's the whole thing. He could just tell you guys, I'm slagging other shit so that I can make sales for my kits. I do this for free for guys because if they send me their speaker for free to make a fix-it kit, I don't have to buy the speaker. So of course he does it for free because somebody sends the thing in, pays all the shipping to send a big ass pair of speakers in, and then Danny does the mod because he's got a free pair of freaking speakers to butcher and fix, you know? And now he can put that kit into his list of kits and sell a kit for it, right? So he's not doing it for free. He's doing it because he's out of the goodness of his heart. And then he says in the thing, I'm doing it because it'll force manufacturers to be better. It's like, oh God, why don't you just sell your fucking services to them? If they don't want to hire you, just take care of that one dude that wants your kit for his Wilsons. You know, the one dude that has the 20-year-old pair of thing. Anyways, you got me derailed. But so that's why I'm not gonna make a whole video on it. I'm just not. I'll talk about it like I just did, and that's it. And really, I was gonna go to the next day to the Wilson, a Wilson dealer here that has the Chronosonics there, and we were gonna talk to him about how stupid it was the way Danny measured the Wilson 3 feet from the speaker, you know, when he should have been at the seated position, and then the speaker should have been set for the seated position. As you know, every pair of Wilson needs to be set for the seating position because that's how they tune them. They don't tune them for 3 feet out from the speaker. That's how, when you're making a speaker, you do it. But what you get at 3 feet is not what you get when you're in the listening position in a normal room. It's not the same. So it's absolutely asinine to try and publish shit like that when you're not the manufacturer. So anyways, so I decided not to do that video there. I'm just gonna let his shit die, man. He's not important, man. He's got his little following, and that's cool. Whatever. He can have his little following. And then he says, I don't pay attention to how many subs. I don't do this for subs. Yet he continually comments on how many I have and how many he has. He's trying to gloat to say that he's got more than I do and I don't have as many. Well, if it's not important to you, then why do you use it as a gloating point? If you use it as a gloating point, it's because you're proud of it or you think it's significant. Otherwise, you wouldn't say it. So the whole fact that he's bringing it up shows that he thinks it's important. And his whole email is full of hypocrisy and bullshit. And it would expose him. You guys would see him differently after you looked at that email. You'd be like, wow, okay, I see why Mikey thinks he's full of shit. You know? I do run a sub with my cheap shit. I think it's pretty well integrated. You don't know it's there until I turn it off. Yeah, perfect. And then you've done a good job, man. Do you sell streamers? I do. Good tubes around sound like solid state, and good solid state sounds like good solid state. Agree or disagree? I disagree. You know, good tubes, good design connects you to the music. We need to say nothing more. Okay. It doesn't matter. Tubes, solid state, chip, R2R, FPGA, panel, box speaker, turntable, vinyl, tape. None of that shit matters. None of it matters. What matters is, are you connecting to your music on an emotional, meaningful level? Everything else can fuck all. It means nothing. It doesn't. Then it's just, what way do you want to get there? It's, you know, you have this destination that you want to get to, and then you have different trains you can take there. So you can choose whatever train you want to get there. The important part is that you get there, not your method of transportation, right? And so what the biggest lie and the thing that the industry perpetrates is that one of those trains is better than the other, when really it's only a desired location that you need to get to. So it doesn't matter your method of transport. As long as you get to church on time, right? Or whatever, you know, you just need to get to that destination. So how you choose to do it is personal preference. It doesn't matter. So I could argue this in many different ways. I could take both sides. I could say good tubes sound like solid state because they have low um, distortion, right? They don't sound tubey. So good tubes sound like solid state. I could say that. But I don't honestly feel that way. I feel like if tubes, and here's what happened. Here's basically what happened in history. Tubes came before solid state. Solid state came after tubes. They invented the transistor to replace the vacuum tube, right? And it was more efficient. It was smaller, easier to manufacture, blah, 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 less liability, all this stuff. I mean, and better in every way for production, right? And then the tube companies were like, whoa, everybody's selling solid state. We need to make our tubes more like solid state because what the people want is solid state. Well, a tube is never going to do what solid state does. So if you make a tube like solid state, all you're doing is making a half-ass good solid state. You're not making a good tube. You're making a half-ass solid state. If you're at that point where your tubes sound like solid state, buy a fucking solid state because it's going to do a better job at what you want, which is woofer control and low distortion and just extended, I mean, just whatever you want your solid state for. But, tubes should have a different mid-range texture, and it should be a different ethereal, floaty sort of a thing. So no, I don't think good tubes sound like solid state. I think good solid state is, and here's another thing for you all to know. So everybody pay attention. It's easy to make a tube amp sound good. It is very hard to make a solid state amp sound world-class level, sound really good. Tubes, almost any piece of shit tube amp will sound really good. It's not hard. And they're simple ass circuits because they're old. They're from the freaking 40s and 50s, right? Maybe even 30s. Solid state, to make solid state sound world-class level, just ethereal and beautiful, that is a hard job and it's not cheap. So there is really very few. I mean, I don't know of any cheap solid state amps that can compete. You have to spend more money on the solid state amps to really get that beautiful nature. And they're worth it. Look, if I had to choose one between the other, I would choose a solid state. If I could get a solid state that sounded like a tube and some of them come close, then that is the best pick. So rather than getting tubes that sound like solid state, much better to get solid state that sounds like tubes. By far. Way better direction to go, in my opinion. Hey, Mikey, what's up? Nick Panazzi. He is our Boston tribe leader, guitar tech extraordinaire, pedal designer, fixer, modder, guitar modder, and vinyl expert. Dan says, have I seen Juror number 2? It is a Clint Eastwood movie. Well worth it. No, I have not seen it. I will check it out. 2003 Fat Boy 131 CI. Oh, is that what you got, buddy? Is that what you got right there? I guess so, man. I just bought a 2019 Softail Fat Boy. So your Fat Boy from back then is the Softail too. It's not a Dyna Fat Boy. I don't have that. It's got a Milwaukee. Well, no, I mean, it's the 131. I think it's a Milwaukee 8 still. It doesn't change, does it? I don't think so. It's a 131 stage 4 torque monster, bro. I know the drill, man. Mine does the same thing. It's a ripper. It spits fire, dude. And it's just fun as hell. I'm getting the suspension done next. The whole thing's built, and see if I can find a picture. I wonder if I can share. I can just hold it up to the camera. Took a pic the other day. I like it better with the sissy bar on it, actually. But I'm going to put it back on. I'm having it matched. There it is. So see if we can get it to focus on that. There we go. Look at that, dude. You can see on top of the head. Let's see if we can see my 131 badge. Stage 4. It says stage 4. It's on the, can't see where it is. Oh yeah, there it is. Right where by the push rods. Anyways, and 2-in-1 exhaust. It's got it. I might do, I'm doing suspension, and maybe I'll do gal for floating rotors. My brakes are still pretty good. I don't know that I need to do brakes. I'm not really trying to sport on it. I've got a Ducati Multistrada 1260 that I love for doing that stuff. Rim shot. You're talking about rim shot. No, I don't think we were talking about rim shot. I was talking about cymbal evolution. It hits the rim of the drum. Yeah, I know what a rim shot is, but that's not what I was describing. Thing is, studio recorded albums aren't necessarily supposed to sound like a good recording of a band playing live. No, quite the opposite, man. Studio sounds way different. And especially if you're somebody like Neil Young doing studio or Jack Black or whatever, it's going to be distorted to hell because they like their guitar amps turned with distortion. I mean, I remember listening to Neil Young one time and I was like, holy shit, my rig is totally distorted. What the fuck? I was looking for problems with tubes and I was like, oh, then I realized it's in the recording because Neil Young has total distorted guitar. Mike, Trump set them up and now the Middle East countries are joining to fix Gaza. Oh, are they going to do it on their own? Wouldn't that be nice? I'm like, who's a real estate developer? Who's got their hands in the pot? But if he's sent it up for them, wouldn't that be something? Hey, Mikey and Tribe. What's up, Andy? Good to see you, man. Apologies all, but I got here as late as I could. Cheers, Tribes from Luther in Texas. What's up, Luthier? Or any Blue Note album. Al Harewood has incredible ride cymbal beat. Okay, there you go. Art of the Deal. Okay. Dave Matthews Band drums and cymbals sound great. Yeah, that's cool. Except, and it's a great band, but I can't stand Dave Matthews myself. It's just personal preference. Hey, Mikey, have you checked out Oswald's Mill Audio? Yeah, interested to hear your thoughts. Oh boy. Rick wants to hear my thoughts. I'm opinionated on this shit, brother, and it's not a great opinion. I mean, look, the dude is whatever he is. I consider it functional art. I don't consider it serious audiophile stuff in the least. It is funky looking sculpture that also plays music. I have not heard it myself, but I have heard from at least four people that have been to his location in Brooklyn, and gone and listened and said, does not sound good, man. This guy, it does not sound good. And not many of them really like that guy as his personality. So, I don't know, man. I think he's an artist that makes functional sculpture. That's how I judge the guy. He's never been accepted by the magazines. The magazines don't review. You know who reviews his shit? Rob Report. Not Stereophile, not Absolute Sound. Rob Report. So it's a lifestyle. It's a trophy thing. It's a cool thing for people, wealthy people to buy. Has nothing to do with audiophileness at all. So it's not accepted in the audiophile circles. It's not accepted as an audiophile piece. It is what I would imagine is bought by rich people that don't know shit about audio and think it looks cool. And, oh, that's nifty that it actually plays music too. That's my opinion. What is the best way to maximize bass response from dipole speakers since they are pulled into the room 3 to 4 feet off the wall? Put them back towards the front wall. That's the best way. Get them. They shouldn't be 3 to 4 feet off the wall. Dipole, if you're talking about like open baffle or something like that, get them against the wall, man. Put them closer to the wall. Put them closer to the corners. Then you'll get the room gain. Otherwise, you're going to lose it to the room. For what it's worth, a rel blew up my buddy's Parasound amp while I was on my way over to set it up. Look at that, brother. Bam. They do that. Jeff complains. Jeff Rowland. I was Jeff Rowland complains that there's nothing that ruins his amps more than rel subs. It is a common thing with balanced amps, and balanced amps are really killer. But you can't hook a fucking amp to an output of an amp. It's just a stupid idea. I'm going to hook up the input of this second amp to the output of the first amp. Like, what a cockamamie idea. It doesn't even make sense. It's just a total shortcut in order to hook up a sub where you're not prepared for it. What's up? Been a while, but I finally caught up to you on a Wednesday. Cool, man. Welcome. MoFi is owned by Music Direct. Okay, so there it is. Music Direct also sells DACs, right? So they could pick their biggest, most expensive DAC that they sell, and they'd get it half price, presumably, or less, and they could use that. And they've got connections all over the place because they're Music Direct. But they choose playback designs, so that should say a lot. Out of curiosity, Mikey, what's the best system you've ever heard in your life, and what made it so great. The best system that I ever heard in my life was my quote unquote big rig that everybody knows as the Tribe Big Rig. It was panel speakers, Magnapan. I put this thing together. It was active quad amp. That means I had one amplifier on each side for every single driver. My tweeter had its own amp. My mid-range had its own amp. My woofer had its own amp, and the subwoofers had their own amp. 4 amps per side, with an active crossover. Playback designs on the front end. 6 12-inch subs. There's a stack on each side that were dipole or H-frame subs. 2 facing forward, 1 facing backward on each triple. Totally dialed in. It was retarded level. Every single person that ever heard it said that's the best system they've ever heard. People with experience, not just people that had never heard audio systems, but people that have heard tons of stuff. So that was the best. That was my foray into trying to create the best system I possibly could in any way I possibly could. That was before my dealer side of things took off. Once the demand for my services took off in building audio systems and selling people audio rigs, I needed to change it because people would come and listen and say, I want this. And I'd say, I can't sell it. And they're like, I'll give you 200,000. I'm like, I wouldn't do this to you. I wouldn't do this to you. There's too many custom things that I have in here. Too many things that I have just that are too, it's like having a car that is very particular, like you tune it, and you know how to set the carbs each time. If it's doing this thing, I just turn that screw a quarter of a turn, and then I have this part over here that I had custom fabricated that is a fuel rail that I turn the pressure up to get perfect pressure at this altitude, like shit like that, right? That's how I'd put it together. I wouldn't sell that to anybody. I need to sell people turnkey things that they can plug in and that works and that sounds just like that does here over there, or better at their where they go. So I had to put my customers first. I couldn't put myself and my own needs first anymore. I had to put my customers before me. So I sold that system. Somebody made somebody extremely happy. He drove down from Illinois and put it all in a truck and took it back with him. He brought a trailer actually. And that was the best system that I ever heard. Now I am tasked with recreating that or making it better. And I have $110,000 speakers that are sitting in my living room that as soon as I have to change my room, I've got jury duty this week, and then Charles is coming, and then I have to go to freaking Florida. So where I'll be showing the 370s. By the way, another announcement, ding, 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 everybody pay attention. Fisher & Fisher 370, SN 370. The Fisher & Fisher, for a taste of Fisher & Fisher, go to the Florida Audio Show in Tampa and listen to the Fisher & Fishers that will be teamed up with AGD, the best Class D amps that I know of. And so come down there. So my system was the best I'd ever heard. What made it so great was 30 years of my trial and error. And what made it so great was that it was active quad amp with extremely well-built panel speakers. My MPD-8 sounds glorious. I just mated it with an MPSX streamer in the past couple of weeks. Yes, that's right. It does sound glorious, doesn't it, man? You can't beat them. It's a shitty Les Paul. Oh God, whatever, man. There is no shitty Les Paul. Aloha, Mikey Tribe. Dan, tribe member here from BI. What's BI? Thinking if it was, what is the Canada? BC, British Columbia. No, British. I don't know. What is BI? Somebody tell me. Was on 11 website trying to check out DACs on Sell and Trade and got message. This is a private category. Do I need to graduate to another tribe? No, anybody can see that stuff. There should not be a private category on Sell and Trade. Check out DACs on Sell and Trade and got a message. This is a private category. Okay. Does it have that? Check it out a little more. Call me tomorrow and let's go through it and we'll figure it out. But it'll have to be in the evening. Level to access the used gear post. No, there is no level. Anybody can view those. Not even a custom shop. Yeah, but it's a gold top, dude. Any tribe members going to Florida Audio Expo? Yeah, I'm going there. I'll be showing the Fisher and Fisher. I'm flying in from Iowa to hear the Fisher and Fishers. There you go, buddy. Looking to replace my Focal Sopra too. Well, Fisher and Fishers will do it for sure. Yes, we've replaced several Focals. German physics loudspeakers. Any comments? I hear they're good. Have you been listening to more tubes these days? Yes, I have. Hello, you wouldn't be near K Falls, Oregon? First amp was Dynaco 70 with CD straight into it, used a variable out. There you go, buddy. That cable looked like industrial grounding straps. That's exactly what they are, man. Will the bookshelf Fisher and Fisher compete or better B&W 805? I can tell you Fisher and Fisher, generally speaking, as a speaker, sounds better than B&W speakers, in my opinion. Yes, better than Tannoy as well. Taking the Pepsi challenge. Do it, buddy. Where are you again? Are you in the UK or Russia? Hey, you couldn't even come on. If you were in Russia, can you even come on to YouTube? I don't even know if you can. Maybe you're in Ukraine. Hey, Mikey, your take on Danny and NR and new record day is exactly right. It's just what I see, man. I call it as I see it. And I'm not saying I'm right. I could be wrong, but I share my opinion, as I see it. I see Nick. I prefer you're not discussing Danny. It's a distraction that provides no real benefit to the tribe. Kind of like that John DeLorean dude. Oh, well, what the benefit that it provides, Dan, to my tribe is that I'm not willing to, that I am willing to talk straight and give straight opinions and not hide behind the fake smile of what do you call it? Virtue signaling or whatever. I'm not a fake nice guy. I'm a real guy. And if you ask me my opinion, I'll tell you my opinion, So if they ask me about the dildos in the industry, and I'm not saying Danny's a dildo, the other guy is, but I'll respond to it. My tribe wants to know. The people that are watching me want to know how I've built this channel is because I am willing to give my unabashed opinion, and I'm not afraid to tell my opinion and be real with everybody and be genuine. So, yeah, I'm sorry that you prefer that I don't, but I'm not going to stop. I'm sorry. I won't spend much time on it, but I'm definitely not going to stop giving my opinion on stuff because, Dan, that's why people love me. And that's why I'm different than any other channel. At TC, sorry to ask, my speakers are looking for ears. Yo, tribe, what's up, Carl? Best song to get a lady in the mood? Enigma? Yeah, I mean, that band pretty much across across the board. That's strapping music right there, man. Barry White. What's some other ones? Sade. That's enough, man. You got 3 right there. You're guaranteed to score if you put any of those 3 on. Agree. Look, somebody else agrees. So it's not futile talk. I'm being genuine. People want to know. Sometimes people, Dan, will ask questions to check out if I'm willing to answer. That's all they want to know. Is Mikey going to be genuine and give a real answer? Let me throw something out here that nobody else will touch, or everybody will just go, oh, it's a good guy. I'm not going to comment. If I can't say anything good, I won't say anything at all. I'm not that guy. You want my opinion. That's why you come here, is for my opinion. Why? Because you value my opinion. Otherwise, you would not come here. So I will give it, because that's what you guys get for free. 100 Roses by FKJ is decent. Okay, cool. 100. That's $100 in hooker terms. If you give somebody 100 roses, you're giving them. Don't ask me how I know that. I don't mind that Danny is a human commercial. I just resent the whole shtick. Oh, resent the whole shtick that he pretends he does videos from the kindness of his heart. That's what I'm talking about, brother. He's a weasel. Can smell it from a mile away. That's what I'm talking about. You know, it's all hiding behind this little gentlemanly exterior that is like, dude, it's virtue signaling. I see it as like a Democrat virtue. And I'm sorry, here I go, freaking getting political. I don't want to get that. But yeah, it's fake. That's my opinion. Whatever. You know, maybe the guy is the second coming of Christ, and I'm gonna go to hell. I have no idea. Be helpful to make a Danny Ritchie video. People should hear the other side. Okay. Okay. So what I could do is maybe take a poll, and then if the poll wins it, I'll put up a public poll. If the poll wins it, then I'll do it. But it needs to be. I need to have a winning poll, and I'll make it public, and then Danny can see that the people want to see it. So then he can't blame me for slagging him. I can say, look, my freaking tribe demanded it, man. I took a poll and they said they wanted to see it. So I'm just doing because in his mind, he's exposing the manufacturers while I'm exposing the seller. It's the same freaking thing. So if he can put the magnifying glass on a manufacturer, I can put the magnifying glass on him. He can put the magnifying glass on me. It doesn't matter. You know, it does not matter. I mean, it's all part of being public. Ron sucks too. He did the Magico or Wilson thumbnail you are referring to is Jay's video, not Danny's, by the way. Well, why is Danny's picture in it? Okay, so that's interesting. So then maybe it's something that Jay's planning. Maybe Jay's planning to send Wilson and Magico and then have Danny reveal whose is better, because Danny's picture was in the middle and then it said who's better, Wilson or Magico. I've got it right here. And guess who sent it to me? Let's see. Let's see. Okay. But you know, this is all as long as you guys know you're being taken for a ride, you know. Okay, here we go. See if I can go like that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so right here. Well, here's the best, Wilson Audio or Magico, which is the better speaker? Okay, so that's Danny using his face in between those two brands. So he's definitely not making friends with those two brands with this, with the way he slagged Wilson. I know Wilson was not happy with that. But okay, so whatever that thing was, it's still, you know, who knows what they're up to, dude. It's as long as you guys understand these these videos that are on YouTube are created because these guys are trying to catch up to Steve Guttenberg and who's the other guy? Paul McGowan. You know, they're trying to get to 200,000 subscribers. So they'll use any little trick they can to do it. And as long as you guys understand, these videos are not necessarily to teach you or give you any information. They're just a train wreck. It's an invented train wreck. If you look at, just go to YouTube and look at the shorts and just look at, you know what shorts are. They're 15-second to 1-minute videos, and just flip through them and look at all the whoring that goes on there. Just everybody's a whore, whoring out some stupid shit. And it's really, I can't look at them anymore because I lose faith for society. Really. I'm like, man, we are through. So as long as you guys are aware of what's happening, the people are working in conjunction and planning and plotting how to get more clicks and more subs by making train wrecks on purpose. They will, you know, they might even completely fake shit, you know. So I jumped to Fisher & Fisher 950 and 650. Is something new coming? No. There's a 1000.1 and there's a 670. New brake pads get you better braking performance than a disc upgrade. Oh, okay. Yeah. But I was thinking more like a caliper, like a 6-piston caliper, that gets you better braking performance. The disc is part of that. You go for like a Brembo, a Brembo 6-piston. The Harley one's kind of small. You put twin Brembo 6-pistons on there with the floating rotor is just so it doesn't get hot and warped, unless you do ductile iron and all that shit. And then you're getting into racing stuff, which I don't need on my freaking Harley. So yeah. Was your gallbladder scanned? No. We got to get Mikey more likes, then give me a thumbs up, man. That's all there is to it. What is the ideal speaker cable length? Anything, I'd say 10 feet or under. Nothing longer than 10 feet. Quad amp is expensive. Yes, I finally paired Mikey Pan with the GR triple stack. Oh my God. There you go, buddy. So Wong came by and he bought my previous Magic rig, which was MagnaPan 3.7 eyes that I've fully modded through and through, all internal silver wiring, foil. I took these things down to the bone and redid them. And Wong did outboard crossover, active quad. You did quad amp too. Yeah. So it's ridiculous, man. It's nuts. Big Island. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. He's in Big Island. Oh, that's right. Dan DeBaca, right? Good guess. It has to be. There you go. Yeah, probably true. How about Fisher & Fisher biamped with 2 monoblocks and Nat Evo? Would it work? Thoughts? That's what I'll be doing. The Fisher & Fisher, when I get my big setup, will be Nat Evo and Class A monoblocks for the bass. I'll give it a shot. I'll let you know. Just watch my channel. Jimmy Chops look like he's got a Les Paul too, man. Or is that yeah, that looks like a Les Paul. My current turntable is Flew on RT85, but I really want to get a Thorens, but I don't know what model I should get. Looking to spend a pretty penny, as it would be my forever turntable. I am the wrong guy to ask, but you can go to my friend Jose at Dr. Vinyl. Just look up Dr. Vinyl and he can consult with you. Big Island, Hawaii. There you go. D'Angelo's Voodoo album is still a top 5 You Get Lucky album. There you go. Okay, I'm not familiar with D'Angelo, but I believe you. Was talking about the SN1000, which looked to be able to triple amp. Yes, is that the right terminology? Triamp is the terminology. And is there any benefit from double to triple? It depends on the crossover and how it's done and how they're designed. Fisher & Fishers are designed not to be actively crossed over. Now, that's just because they didn't design them that way. They designed them without active crossover. They designed them with jumpers. I will put that all to the test. I will biamp and triamp them, and I will let you guys know what comes up. Enigma, Barry White, thanks. We'll report back tomorrow. Dude, we want details. We want details. That's the only way you can report back with the details. Yeah. Rocky Music Avalon. There you go, man. There's a good one too, man. Avalon. Do. Such a great album. Do it. He's a bullshitter. Oh, Ziggy. Ziggy wants the expose. Also got a crazy deal recently on some JBL bookshelf speakers for $30 and replaced the speaker from myself, which needed it. Good for you, man. You got some chops then, Jimmy. Jimmy Chops has speaker driver chops too. He's got reconing chops. Hey, Mikey, do you consider Taiwan gear cheaply made Chi-Fi, or is Taiwan okay with me? Taiwan is okay with me. Now, let me go back and make something clear. The reason that I'm not into Chi-Fi is not that I think it's cheap per se or cheaply made, which it is in a lot of cases, but they have come a long way. The modern Chinese stuff is they've caught up, right? They're now making it with big fat aluminum chassis, and they're putting tastier parts and shit like that and whatever. But China is a fucked up economy. It's a fucked up place. It's a fucked up regime, man. The people are completely subjugated in the worst way. They are global offenders of pollution, of like they're just dicks, you know. And I'm not talking about the Chinese people. I'm talking about the CCP, right? The government, okay? The people deserve freedom, okay? What we have here. Taiwan is not like that. Now, Taiwan typically even does have better manufacturing than China. In China, they just don't have integrity like they do in other countries, which means if something is good enough to get the product out the door, they will substitute whatever part they need in the manufacturing to make that shit go out the door today, right? All they're about is just pumping out vomit, you know, tons of product. So and they will not stand for anything holding up the line. They won't. So they will substitute parts quite frequently. And if they don't have the part they run out in the parts bin, they will substitute it for a different part that is not within your spec when you're having shit made, or not within the original spec. So you'll get something in between two production runs and they'll be different, you know, because they ran out of something. So they substituted something. That happens a lot. Taiwan is different. Taiwan is typically better machining, just better. They're just, you know, they're cooler to do business with. They're a little just more, they're not like China. And again, Hong Kong, China is going to be typically different than the rest of the country. So there's a lot of nuance in there, but it's a political reason why I boycott Chinese. It's political because I think their people should be able to enjoy life and not be screwed, you know, the way they are and controlled. So that's why. But yeah, even when, yes, Taiwan is almost always better manufacturing, to answer your question. Danny and Ron do live in Texas, the land of the 10-gallon hats, self-inflated egos. Yeah, do live in Texas. Oh, live in Texas. Okay, Danny and Ron do live in Texas, the land of 10-gallon hats, self-inflated. I got you. Yeah, Texas is an interesting state. I don't know why people go there. It's weird. I mean, I guess if you're a rancher, I get it, but it's so flat and wide open and just nothing but flat. So it would be the same for me, like for like maybe Illinois or Kansas or those other states where it's just flat fields, nothing else, but just flat open space. And in Texas, it's hotter than shit. So not only is it flat everywhere, but it's hotter than shit. But there's some reason why people go there. Maybe it's taxes or something like that. Can you do a poll now? I don't know how to do it on this streaming platform, but I can find out. Let's see, media assets. Yeah, I would have to figure it out. I'm not going to try and figure it out right now, but I don't know how to do it. I can do a poll a different time. Do I like Gabber? No, I don't, man. I can't stand it. So yeah, I can't. I don't even like hardcore techno. I know it. You love it to death. Well, good on you, brother. I don't understand it, so I'll tell you that much. I don't understand it. It looks like, and then the dancing that goes with it is even more confusing. It looks like people are having epileptic seizures, right? Boom, 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 boom. It's like I don't get it. I don't get it. I've never felt that way. Unless I was going insane. If I was going insane and I wanted to like murder a whole bunch of people, maybe that would be in my mind and in my feeling would be bah, 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 stab, 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 fuck, 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 yeah. You know, maybe that would, but Gabber, I just don't fucking understand it. And I don't understand. I don't understand it. So I just don't, I like tech house. I'm very particular about my EDM. I do not like the hardcore stuff that's over a certain BPM because it's just too fucking speeded out. Like somebody just did meth up their ass and in their nose and smoked it and snorted it and shot it at the same time. I mean, that's what it's like speed to me. It's like a hardcore speed vibe, which is not pleasurable to me. It's like spasmodic. So it doesn't vibe with me. I like more groovy shit that has funky groove to it and flow and stuff like that. About as hardcore as I go is tech house. And I like tech house. That's badass, chunky, fat beats that have a slower BPM and a little more of a funky thing to them. I also don't like I like maybe some progressive house. But like the bubblegum vocally disco house stuff, it's okay, but I'm not that into that. I'm very particular about my EDM. But tell me if you love it to death, tell me what it does for you. Turn me on, give me the visual of Gabber, please. Let me explain why you love it. How does it feel to you? What are you feeling or thinking when you get into that groove? Is it anger and kicking ass, or is it, what is it? Tell me. I'd love to know, because you love it to death. So I'm really glad I'm talking to you, Jimmy, because I want to know what people get out of, because I don't understand it, and I've seen it, and I'm like what the fuck is that? Like, I don't get it. Please tell us. Free Radical. I'm in Lake Oswego, just outside of Portland, long way from K Falls. Hey brother. Hey, why brother lives. My brother lives there. Okay. Just people, type 1 if you want a video, and 2 if you don't. He's trying to run his own thing, man. I don't get Gabber. See, that one brother doesn't get it either. So maybe Chops, tell us what's up, man. I want to know, like, what do you get out of? Okay, so we got a tie. We got 1-1 and a 2. The person who was asking about the Thorns turntable, if he's looking at an old one, the Super 160 is the one to get. There you go. I've heard they were good. Ortofon 2-meter bronze stock. Yeah, Ortofon 2M. Maybe it's not 2-meter, 2M. I joined at the right time. Let's share some tech house, buddy. Oh, Amadeus. Cool, man. I'm glad you're here, brother. Okay, look, Amadeus. My plan is to have you on the as a guest here. Amadeus is the son of Ed Meitner, so you guys know who you're talking to right here. He is, what do you run the place yet? He probably runs Meitner at this point. If he doesn't now, he will. I met Amadeus and his dad, Ed Meitner, who founded Meitner and M Labs in LA, and I spent a great weekend with these guys and had a blast. Amadeus is really into the scene for dance music, and we almost went. And Amadeus, I know it would have been epic, because I have the feeling that the good places to go. I just have that inkling that Amadeus knows what's up, and he probably knows the people. We probably would have gone in, like on the list and shit like that. But and Amadeus, I want to have you come on, and then we'll talk about what you guys did in the MA3i, but I've got to listen to it first. And I really want that piece to be my, $11,500 DAC. I want to offer that to people, so you guys know it's a full all-in-one. You plug your Ethernet into it. It's got volume control. It's everything. It's a complete front end. All you need is a pair of amps and speakers. And I like products like that. They simplify shit, but typically it's hard to get one that does it in a world-class level. And M Labs, they're more expensive DACs, are definitely world-class level. The MA3, I liked it a lot. I just thought it leaned musical, so it's not a bad thing. But I felt that in order to be neutral, it needed maybe a preamp that could lean it a little more neutral. Or if you put it into a rig that was maybe a little bit forward, the MA3 would have totally chilled it out and made it perfect. But I typically don't like when we use a product to offset something that's not quite right, and then we tune it using this, and then because then it's like doing a Jenga tower. Everything's perfectly balanced, and if you take one piece out, you destroy the whole symbiosis. So I got my fingers crossed, Amadeus. I really, because I love you guys, man, and I want to carry it and sell the shit out of it, because that's what I do with products when I get a hold of them. So Yeah, in terms of Tech House, brother, I go to DIFM and I just put on the Tech House channel and I sit and listen to it, bro, and it almost always delivers. But that is my stuff. I don't know particular artists or DJs that I like in that genre, but if you want to share some with me, then cool, because that is my genre. Good night, Dan. Good to see you. Ziggy wants a video. Okay, so we've got 2 1s and 1 2. I really like it because it's rhythmic and uplifting. Okay, uplifting. Interesting. Then the same beats, the same beats that people talk about being repetitive bring me up and put me in a good mood and stuff. Won't do the dance, however. Come on, man. You got it. That dance is a full spaz, dude. It's like holy shit. So okay, that's interesting. Wow. Yeah, this is a whole conversation. So what is your normal state of being? With on a normal day, just you wake up, like what's your normal state of being? That's what I want to know. At TC, thanks for getting back almost 3 feet of snow in 4 days. Woo! Powder skiing, baby. Still a family run business. Look at that. All of us. Yep, you're there, man. Including Ed and Amadeus. Thorin's 124, 1 or 2. Okay, cool. Contribute. Let's arrange a chat. We will, man. You'll come on for sure. I'll be in touch. I just got the MA3 from John and I'm going to take it out this weekend. I've got jury duty. And when I get back from jury duty, I'm just like shot. I don't really want to do work like comparing DACs, but I may do it tomorrow, the next day, probably most likely this weekend. I'll listen to the new one. And then because I want to do our discussion on here after I listen to it. So then we can talk about it. I'd like to talk about what you guys did to it to change it. Amadeus, I've got the Meitner Pre and the DS Audio EQ2 supporting my DS Master 3. Amazing stuff. There you go, man. A lot of music genres I don't like, but also lots of, say, one-hit wonders or new songs in those music styles that changed my mind completely. Got to keep an open mind and ear for all music or we miss out. Yeah, no, I have kept an open mind for Gabber, but go listen to it, Bo. Like, and it is extreme. Like, it's like listening to death metal. You know, it's the EDM equivalent of death metal, I would say. Not even doom metal. I like doom metal. Death metal, no way. Or speed metal. It's probably the equivalent of speed metal would probably be what Gabber would be. Gabber is to EDM what speed metal is to rock and roll. Hey, Mike, do I listen to HD internet radio? I do not. Many great sounding channels and genres. How do you do that, man? Rocky, tell me. Enjoy the first MA3I listen. It's a completely different game. Oh, awesome, dude. Awesome, man. I'm so excited for this, quite honestly, man. I really am. There's another one for the video, man. So far, we've got. Hey, thanks, Tim123. We're really proud of both these products. Love the Master 3 and where it sits in the DS lineup. Happy listening, and let me know if you need anything. There you go. Look at that, man. First-hand service coming at you live from the Hi-Fi Tribe Mikey show. We're in the inside circle at Meitner right now with Amadeus here. It's another one. I see that you sell TAD speakers as Fisher and Fisher have as pinpoint imaging. They do. TAD is the luxury product, and Fisher is the premium product. TAD is the luxury where there's no value proposition. Fisher is the performance that has a value to it, a strong value. TAD, you're going to spend. TAD just had another price increase. You're going to spend like 37,000 now for the floor standers or something like that. Maybe 40. I'm sorry, for the monitors. They're going up in price, dude. They're just, now the monitor, the reference monitors are 100,000 instead of 80. It's a 2-way speaker. Or it's a 3-way actually, because dual concentric driver. But Uh-oh, we got another. Man, you keep voting, dude. We already got yours in there. Or were you formally putting your one down since you didn't? I assumed your one. Another question, my amplifier that I'm using for my final setup has built-in preamp as part of the amp. So I'm actually running my turntable through the CD input, which bypasses the built-in one. Built-in preamp part of the amp. So I'm actually running my turntable through the CD input, which bypasses the built-in what? Are you trying to say it has a built-in phono preamp is what you mean as part of the amp? So I'm actually running my turntable through which bypasses the built-in phono pre. Is that what you're trying to say? Any other ideas of how to bypass the amp's built-in preamp? All amps have a built-in preamp stage. Every single amp that you have has a gain stage and a preamp stage. So you're not going to ever bypass it. You'll bypass maybe a volume control is what you're asking about. And in that case, you'd have to have a direct input. I don't even know what they call them. They might call it. I don't even know what they call them. It's not something I run into. So anybody else has an answer for Jimmy? Go ahead. Took a quick bit for Gabber. Yeah, no, I know it's intense, man. It's like whew. Yeah, I never voted, so I formally put it down. Okay, there. That's what I thought. Okay. Preamp. Yes. Okay, phono pre. That's what he's talking about. Good night, my friend. Chat soon. Yeah, Amadeus. Take care, buddy. I got to go too. It's been 2 hours, man. I'm dying over you. Oh, man. We got another one. Okay. Looks like so far people really want me to do this thing. I'm going to have to think of how to do it where it's just done. You know, shit like this, I should almost do on my own channel, or like on 11 stereo. I shouldn't do it publicly, like on YouTube as a, cheap sticking my dick out to try and get clicks, right? Like that's how I see people as whoring on YouTube. It's a bunch of whores trying to, get clicks. And so I don't want to be a clickbait whore on YouTube, but I could put a video like that on my channel, or on my website, which is 11 stereo. And then you guys could go there, and then maybe I have like an X or what's that other one? Vimeo or one of the other platforms that's not, YouTube, and then put them on I could even charge a membership like the other guys do, charge you a membership and say, if you want my real feelings, pay me a monthly fee. But yeah, I would have to do it something on mine. So then if people really want to know my opinion, they come to me. I'm not just blabbing it out to the public. So let me figure out a way to do it, and then I can do it for you. And then you'll get the inside scoop. And maybe I'll have to think of it over. But I'll figure out a way to do it. Sup, Mikey? Do you do all your listening at home? I do on ever on the go. The only on the go I do is I do it in my car. I got a new Volvo, and it has a Bowers and Wilkins re-fucking tarded audio system in there. Like, it's seriously like I couldn't make it better if I put a custom, IASCA system in there, right? I mean, it's an SQ system, but it does SP. It's sick. It's stupid, man. It's got stupid subs, 19 speakers, one in the center of the dash. You can totally just sound craft the way I mean, I can full tilt, turn it all the way up. It's got like 4 different levels. I put it up to just under half, and it's bumping. Doots, 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 and I listen to house music when I'm in the car because it's like on the go music, right? It's something about driving and house music that goes well for me. And then I get a little more excited. I can put it up to like halfway or a little bit past half. And then it's like full clip inside there. You're like, holy shit, it's loud. And then I can put it up to like 3/4. And then it's discotheque level. It's like, holy shit, this thing's bumping. And then I can go up another quarter for like, let's compete. Like, let's drown out the fucker next to us, or whatever. It's ridiculous how that thing plays. It's really ridiculous. I should not have had that Frappuccino earlier. I'm probably going to be up all night. I know, dude, that fucks me up too. I can't do coffee in the afternoons or I don't sleep. Hey, Mikey, more likey. Right on, man. That's good. Thanks. Yeah, but everybody needs to know about it, not just the tribe. But who am I? Who am I to expose? Everybody needs to know about it. That's up to God, right? It's like I don't need to bring people to justice. It's not my job. Um, you know, whatever. Good night, tribe. Thanks for the time, Mikey. You bet, Tom. Your gut is right. No need to make a video to bash GR. Don't lower yourself. There you go. Like him or not, he adds to the music verse or takes away depending on which side of the crossover you're standing on. Yeah, it's just I'm not trying to say don't like him. I'm just trying to say be aware that everybody's trying to sell you something. I make it clear. I tell you up front. Other people hide behind, they're trying to make the industry better. They hide behind measurements and show papers and shit like that, but they're still trying to run the racket on you regardless. And as long as you just understand that, and then you can take people at their value, do I want to feed into the whole fantasy of something, or do I want to just not have any nonsense and just look? Some people need fluff, man. Some people need a gentle speaking person to buy from. My customers come to me because they want the real straight dope, and I give it to them. And people tell me all the time, dude, you are in. They say when I met you and once I got to know you, you're totally different. I'm not totally different. I'm the same person, but I'm a mellow dude. When I come and I care about people. When I come on and make my videos a lot of time, it's because I'm fed up with an injustice. And so I'm pissed. So I'm feeling it. And then I share my feeling and you feel my emotion. And so by the time I make it to a video, I'm upset about something. So I'm sharing a damn video because I got to make a fucking video. I'll think I got to make a video about this. I need to share this with you. I got to tell people, on my normal happy-go-lucky selling self is not like that, you know? Um, anyways, all new integrated amps allow you to use your preamp or power amp in your system. Okay, what do they call that input? One more thing, I can't stand Dave Matthews either. I know, and Tom's a big deadhead. I'm a deadhead too, and I don't know, man. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I agree. Don't lower yourself. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Good night, all. Okay, everybody. I will see you on Sunday, and then on Sunday, I don't know if the trial will be over, but I'll tell you how it went. All right. See you. See you.